Hello neighbor, this is Curt at eTrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Pewag wide base tire chain set for this 2024 Jeep Wagoneer L. Now these tire chains are a square link style, which is really going to help in those deep snow conditions. It's also a ladder style, which is going to help a lot with forward and reverse traction and braking. It's made out of a manganese and nickel alloy, which is going to really help with corrosion resistance and durability. And another special thing about this particular set of chains is that there's these grooves here in the square links. Now what those grooves are going to help with is any icy conditions that you might run into, as well as deep snow and mud. Now these tire chains are going to come in a set, which is going to include one for each side of the car, this tool to help tighten the cams on it, and it's going to come in this particular bag. Now, you could store it in this bag if you like, but I usually recommend using something more like a plastic tote, just to kind of help them keep them from tangling up and make sure they get dried out as well. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how we got these on here. The first thing we want to do is lay out and inspect our chains. You may notice that I'm wearing gloves during this process, and of course, in a real-world scenario, in most instances, you're going to be putting these on in some cold, icy, snowy weather, so gloves are going to be something you're probably going to have anyway. But I always recommend wearing gloves whenever handling tire chains because they do contain a lot of sharp edges and things like that that could cause a little bit of an injury to you, so we want to avoid that. So when I'm laying these out, what I'm really looking for is to make sure that we don't have any tangles or kinks in the chain. I'm also looking for any kind of damage or anything to the chain as well. And when we've got these laid out, what we're going to be doing is draping them over the tire. I laid them out specifically this way. We want to make sure that these hooks on the end of the links here are facing away from the rubber of your tire because they do have an edge to them. We also want to make sure that the cams are on the outside of the tire for our adjustments later on. So right now we're going to pick these up and go ahead and drape them over. Being a 3-cam system, it's really easy to find our center with them. So what we're going to do is lift them up over the tire, drape them over, and what we're really aiming to do is trying to keep it even on both sides of the tire while also avoiding as much as possible any of the chains getting on the wheel itself. Once we have these draped about as evenly as we can, we're going to go ahead underneath the vehicle behind the tire and set our adjustment back there. All right, so what we'll find in the back is an end here with 4 or 5 loose links and a hook end here as well. These links are going to allow for adjustments from behind the tire. So right now we're going to go ahead and get this attached in the back. I did it on the 4th link only because it's looking to me from the way it's draping around the wheel that this is going to be pretty close to the distance that we've got in the front. Now we're going to have the same mechanism like this in the front to attach, so let's go back out from under the car and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so here in the front we've got the same type of mechanism. We're going to go about 3 links over this time because that's about where we get it to where it's pretty snug and pretty symmetrical around the tire itself. So now you may notice that there's a little slop in here. It's a little bit loose. That's okay. This set of tire chains actually includes these tensioning cams and this tool to help us get it tightened down just a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and start on that. Click that over there. Click this one over here. Now it's pretty darn snug on there. You do not have to engage all 3 or any of the cams. It really depends on how it's fitting your particular tire. So what we've got here now is just a little bit of slop in it still. You may notice that it's a little loose under here. Generally what we recommend is rolling the vehicle forward and back a few feet, maybe getting some of these links from the bottom up on top just to do any further adjustments that we might need, whether it's tightening another cam, moving another link in the front, or moving another link in the back. Now, one more item that we always recommend that does not come with this set of tire chains is a rubber tensioner. This is just going to add a little bit of extra protection for you by keeping this really snug and secure. So when you're applying these, Similar to what we talked about with these hooks, we want to do it with the hooks facing outward. And we also want to try to put it on a length of chain that does not have one of the cams attached to it. So I'm going to hook one end right up through here, and I'm going to go straight across from it, right down through here. And we're going to go around the entire tire that way. Okay, now what that's going to do is just keep this more centered and keep those tire chains snug on your tires. Okay, so now that we've got everything secure here, we are ready to hit the road. One of the things I do want to mention is you always want to check your owner's manual to see where they recommend you put tire chains on your vehicle. In the case of the Wagoneer L, they recommend it on the rear axle, so that's where we've got them. But this is a really nice heavy-duty tire chain that's really going to be good for you in just about any conditions that come up, whether, again, it be mud, deep snow. You've got the grooves in the chains to give you that extra little bit of bite with the ice, and you're going to have a real easy time moving forward, backward, and stopping. So once again, this is Curt at eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.